Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at crackthefemalecode.com. Alright, so we're going to go over some more science, something along the lines of stimulus response. So what I'm talking about is basically how the female mating system is automatically stimulated and what triggers her to want to have sex with you and make love to you. Alright, so today we're going to talk about something that most men think is bad and will not attract a woman when you're absolutely, completely wrong. And the reason why is because your mating system is wired in the opposite way that hers is. So what turns you on sexually does not turn her on. So you assume, well, if it turns me on, well, then it must be a turn on to her, when actually it's not true. So my background, I started studying psychology in college when I was 18 years old. I actually read my first hypnosis book when I was in high school. So I studied psychology. I also got involved, started studying NLP and Ericksonian hypnosis for 12 years. Yes, seminar after seminar. These are 5-week, 3-week trainings, year-round for 12 years, home study programs, on and on. So I went to every program I could. So I also am a student of linguistics, which is communication, and also I have a very in-depth background in human behavior and anthropology, in the sense of how similar humans, instinctually humans are compared to animals, or the similarities. Okay, so when you can understand an animal's instinctual things that they do, their behaviors, all of a sudden you start to see it in humans, because we still have the reptilian brain, the same brain that animals are using. So one of the things you absolutely have to understand is that our mating system, for men and women, is in our reptilian brain. That's the lower brain. That's the brain that we used during the caveman era, when essentially we were basically just like animals. It's the instinctual system, like a lizard or a frog or an alligator. It's stimulus and response all day long. There's no thinking. This is your hardwired system that automatically does things without any thinking. In fact, it's the unconscious system. You don't even know that you're doing this stuff. Now, let's talk about women and the female mating system. So, again, our mating systems are wired differently for different purposes. The male mating system is designed to look for a younger, healthier, vibrant woman with vitality. Why? Because our mating system is connected to our optic nerve, which connects to our eyes. But why? Because we're looking at the female's body, the outside of her body, to make sure that she's healthy, that her fingernails aren't yellowing, because that's a sign of cancer, by the way. And her eyes yellow. Is her hair falling out, or her teeth falling out? Like, something's not right here. Now, the reason why this is important is because the baby is going to be inside the female's womb for 9 months and not inside you. So this is why our mating systems are looking for different hierarchy of what's important. What our mating system is, the male mating system is looking for is her body physically healthy, because the baby's going to be inside her womb for 9 months, and it needs to be a healthy environment so the baby can grow and be healthy, strong, and smart. Now, some of the books that I've read, I'll give you an example. 2 of the books, or just some of the, actually not the only ones, but here's 2 of them out in front of me. The Naked Ape by Desmond Morris and The Human Zoo by Desmond Morris. So he was an anthropologist who then began to see similarities between animal behavior and human behavior. So then he crossed over and began to study humans' instinctual behavior. So that's essentially what we're talking about right now. All right, so now we're going to talk about the hierarchy that the female mating system is looking for. So if the baby is not going to be in the male's body, then what would a woman's or a female's mating system be looking for? What would be important for her? Well, here's what she's looking for. Number 1, she's looking for the best possible survival rate for her child. That, right now, I'm going to tell you right now, her number 1 goal, the number 1 thing that she's looking for, is the best possible environment for her child, so it can grow up safe, gets lots of food, and get an education. That's what she's looking for. It's on an unconscious level. because what it's trying to do is reproduce a baby that grows up healthy, strong, and intelligent, so it can also reproduce another baby to grow up healthy, strong, and intelligent. That's the purpose. So what do you think a female's mating system would be looking for in a man? A man who knows how to communicate well, a man who has social behavior. Why? Because if you have social skills, then you can connect with other men in the community, in the tribe, and thus now you have social power. I'm going to tell you right now, for those of you who think being strong, being a great fighter, that's how you get the girl, no. I was a national kickboxing champion, a state champion of boxing, wrestling champion, football champion. I mean, I did it all. I studied martial arts since I was a kid. I used to bench 365 pounds for 2 solid reps without any help at all. I deadlifted, hell, I used to deadlift 600 pounds like it was nothing. I would do reps with that. I squatted. I stopped at 595 because a professional bodybuilder said, hey, because he had actually broke his neck at a 650 when he was just warming up. Not warming up, but it wasn't his heaviest weight. So I used to do like 5 reps of deep squats with 595. I used to be a fucking beast. And yet, I didn't get the girl, okay? And the girl that I had was cheating on me, treating me like shit, etc., etc. Lesson learned. So now, here's my point. Her mating system is not looking for a guy who looks good, because, again, her mating system has a nerve that curves off to her right brain's communication center. Now, the key word is right brain. The next key phrase is communication center. She's looking for a man who is smart in the right brain way, not the logical left brain way, which is what most, oh, that's not logical. Good, because you're not going to get laid with that logical bullshit. That's the smaller brain, okay? You're going to have to learn how to open up to the right brain, which is what I teach you. Okay, so for now, here's the deal. She's looking for a guy who has, remember, the right brain is the relationship brain, not only for between, men and women, like husband, wife, etc., but it's also a relationship between friends and business relationships, etc. It is also the social brain. It's the brain you're supposed to use when you go to a club, to a party, and especially when you go to a business event or a business party. The number one thing that I focus on and teach is social skills. Social skills, influence, and how to have social power. Why? Because this is what turns a woman on. Now watch this. This is going to shock you. It's very much going to surprise you. Remember, you assume that she's looking for a young man who is healthy and strong and has dark hair and vibrant, like all these young dudes in these pictures. I'm telling you right now, the minute I walk through that room, every one of these women will look at me. Some of them will invite me over, get up and come talk to me, and on and on. But it'll be the same. I'm going to teach you a secret that you had no clue about. Now, take a look at these women's hair. Now, they've got their makeup on and, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, this next picture is going to blow you away. So remember, we're talking about stimulus response. This is the instinctual thing that turns a woman on. So what are we looking at? We're looking at women with gray hair. Lots and lots of gray hair. Does she really look that old? No, because she's not. These women are about late 40s to early 50s, okay? Now look at this. This is literally a beauty salon. Look on the left, her hair is kind of brown at the ends and I don't know, kind of medium brown in the middle, etc. So what did they do? Did they make it darker to make her look more youthful? No. They purposely made her entire hair become more gray to make her look older. And you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Why? Because to a man, older is less attractive. To a man, younger is more attractive. But not to a woman. To a woman, older is more attractive. Now here's a woman who is desperately trying to get into a relationship. This was a video where she was talking about how she's 53. She's freaking out because now she's over the hill and she doesn't have her youth anymore, blah, blah, blah. But what does she do though? She makes her hair gray. So this is kind of a conflict in terms. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? So she is on the one hand realizing like, wait a minute, men actually like younger women. Now you're thinking, what do you mean she's just realizing that? Because she's 53 years old, guys, and you're thinking she would have realized this a long time ago when she was in high school, right? Nope. And yet, even though she knows it consciously now, on an instinctual level, she still has gray hair. Now here's the deal, that hair was done at a beauty salon. Her hair didn't just perfectly grow gray like that, especially at that age. She's not that old. That would be like an 85-year-old woman's hair, at least a 70-year-old woman's hair. She literally in the video, she's 53. So you might be thinking, well, why would women purposely make themselves look older? Don't you remember in high school when teenage girls were always trying to act mature? And they wouldn't say mature, they'd say, I'm mature. So the funny thing is, younger women are always trying to look older, and you're thinking, but why? Well, because they want to date older guys. Yes, they do want to date older guys, but there's a mistake in their system. But it's the same mistake men make. We are projecting who we are onto the opposite sex. Here's what I mean. So our mating systems were not designed in the modern era. They were designed all the way back in the caveman era into the tribal area, which is tens of thousands of, well, I don't have to say tens of thousands of years ago, a long time ago. And they haven't changed, and this is what you have to understand. Your lower reptilian brain, where our mating systems are, is still reacts and is instinctual exactly the way it was 10,000, 20,000 years ago. So why is it that women are looking for men that have our right brain, so have social skills and right brain communication skills? Well, the reason being is because those men, when you have social skills, you can build up a tribe of men around you or connect with the tribe of men, which thus then gives you more social power. So I was that typical male that thought you had to be in perfect shape, muscular, benching 365 pounds, state champion in boxing, wrestling, football, and all that shit. And you know what? It was not fucking true at all. Not only for me, but there was a lot of guys that I sparred with, went to other clubs, and like their wives were all brutally ugly. And some of these guys like were professional champions, and I'm like, dude, why is this guy's wife so and I'm not trying to be mean, but dude, I mean fucking ugly. It didn't make any sense to me. Well, here's why. Because they didn't have social skills. I'm going to tell you a story about something that really kicked in. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to do it in a little bit. But this is me in the picture in my glory years. Now I'm just kidding, because I was about 47 years old in this picture. I clearly had a gut. And these girls were in their early to probably mid-20s, I'm going to guess. These were much younger than me, okay? Everywhere I go, women want to talk to me. And the story that I'm going to tell you, I'm going to call it the ice cream story. It's going to wake you up. It's going to shock you. So here's the deal. Younger men, because of your testosterone, you have too much testosterone. Sure, it's good for fighting, lifting weights, and all that shit. But for social skills, turning on women, nope, it turns women off. Because the higher testosterone, the more it shoves you into your left logical brain, the linear system, which means you disconnected her from her mating system, and you turned her off. Remember, women are turned on when a man is open to his right brain, because her mating system is connected to her right brain's communication system, the social system. So when I was in high school, I remember all the girls were trying to date the college guys. Okay? And then when I got to college, I'm like, well, I'm in college now. Now I can date these girls. And now all the college girls wanted to date the guys that were in their 30s and 40s. Businessmen. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? It was really, it sucked. So as I began studying these anthropology books and human behavior books, started understanding about the caveman, the way the caveman was, okay? And then also like how did the tribes work? How did the tribal system work? Well, here's how it works, okay? Now here's the thing, we are all still in one form of tribe or another, whether it's a church, whether it's a political party, whether it's, a club you belong to. There's all kinds of tribes, from family tribes to city tribes to school tribes. Like, we are tribal people to this day. It's literally instinctual, and we can't get out of it. So here's the deal. A female's mating system's number one job is survival for her child, the best possible opportunity. Now, you might think, yeah, so I'm going to be a millionaire. No, believe it or not, millionaires are generally very left brain. So yeah, you're thinking, yeah, he's got the money, he's got the house, he's got the food, he can send that kid to the best college on the planet. But her mating system doesn't see cars, it doesn't see electricity, doesn't understand what money is, or anything that we would consider to be wealth and prosperity. What she considers to be a wealthy man is a man who's right brain. The modern male has completely disconnected from his right brain. Now, the caveman, the tribal man, the hunter man, they had to be right brain because that's your five senses. It's very intuitive. Most men don't even like the word intuitive because we are so stuck in our logical left male brain. So here's what you have to understand. Imagine you're in the tribal era, but it's even true now in this day and age too. Let's imagine you're because back then it was very normal for girls to have babies at the age of 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Now, a lot of guys don't know this, but if you study anthropology, human behavior, and human sexuality, a female's peak is between, I believe it was the age 14 to 19 years old. It's the peak for having the healthiest, strongest baby. A woman's pregnancy vibrancy, I forget what the word is for that, but peak begins to go down. I think it was age 21 or 22, so she's already over the hill. So by the time a woman is 28 to 32 years old, she has lost that sexual attraction that young girls have. So even if you pay attention to your own body, your own naturalness, so let's say there's girls in there that are like 30, 31, 32 years old, you're like, oh wow, she's really pretty. But the minute that 16-year-old girl pops in the room, you're like, whoa, it's an instinctual thing. We can't help it, right? So my point is this: a woman's sexual peak is very young. A man's sexual peak is when you get older, because here's why. Remember, the testosterone shoves a young male far in his left brain, which means he can't see the bigger picture, which means it's a turnoff. And you're not connected to your social skills. Your right brain is the social skills. It's the social brain and the relationship brain. These are the men that can get along. Well, when your testosterone, it begins to lower. I guess the first stage technically is around 33, 34, but it's not enough. So it does it again around 38, and then it does it again around 41 or so. So around 42 years old, you start to begin to open up and use your right brain on an unconscious level. Now, this begins to attract women. So by the time you're around 48 to 49, it lowers again, and now all of a sudden it's easier to talk to women. Women want to talk to you, etc. So here's the deal. The more right brain you become, the more women are attracted to you. And you gain social skills. So now let's look at a teenage guy, 16 years old, in the tribal era or even now. Who is she most likely going to be able to survive with? A 16-year-old male who doesn't have those social connections, who doesn't have the hunting skills, who doesn't have the ability to provide or protect her, as well as an older male? No, the older male. Okay, so I'm not going to go too deep into anthropology right now. This video is already getting longer than I wanted it to be. So here's my point. Older men have gray hair. Older men have wrinkles around their eyes. Older men have gray in their beard. And guess what else? Older men have what? They have a gut. This is highly attractive to women. You've got to understand, we're thinking survival, tribal era and caveman era. It was all about survival. If you were a skinny caveman, her mating system was like, this guy can't even feed himself, let alone a wife and a child. So a caveman that had a bunch of buddies and he had strong bonds with them. Now, how do you make bonds with people, whether it's a guy or a girl? It's through the right brain. It's the left brain actually breaks bonds. It divides, okay? You want the brain that adds. That's the right brain, okay? So if you have a bunch of connections, it's not just if you have a bunch of buddies, but like how close are you guys? Like how well do you guys interact and relate? Because the better you do, the stronger the bonds are, the more attracted she is to. Now watch this. There's a little secret that I'm leading up to that I already showed you. Women are attracted to older men. That's just a fact. They're attracted to gray hair, gray beards, and guts, and wrinkles and scars. This is a stimulus response. It triggers her mating system, so let your gut hang out. Do not suck your gut in, because it'll force you into your left brain and up into your forehead, and it'll make you uptight, and thus it makes her uptight. It stresses her out, and she's like, I'm out of here. So what do women do? They put gray in their hair because they think, oh, I'm going to attract him. Why do they do that? Because women are attracted to men with gray hair. So what do? They go, oh, well, he must be that way too. No, men are not like that. We like youthful, younger looking women. That is a fact. Alright, so I'm going to get to the story, and then I'm going to give you a couple of tips to purposely do. It's going to blow you away. Number one, here's the story. So I had a goddaughter. I still have her. Not with me. But we went to the ice cream store, Cold Stone, after I think they won a softball game or something like that, and we went there, and it was kind of not nighttime, but 8 p.m., kind of dark outside, and we had ordered it, and we shifted over to the right. We were the only people there, and then a family came in with a daughter. She was in high school, probably I think 16. I'm going to assume maybe 15. And the parents were looking at the ice cream, and she just moseys right on over to me. I mean, walks right on up to me. And she starts to talk to me. Now, I'm really uncomfortable. My goddaughter's already sitting down eating her ice cream, and I'm waiting for mine. They're making mine. And again, the parents are about 10, 15 feet away, like looking at the ice cream, like what are they going to get? They're trying to decide. And they didn't notice that their daughter had walked right over me and was literally just talking to me. And she's just smiling and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, Jesus Christ, like, I need to wait, come on. I'm thinking, give me my fucking ice cream. I want to sit down and get away from this girl, because what the fuck, right? And I was really uncomfortable. And she, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, And I'm looking at my goddaughter like, fucking save me. And she starts laughing. I think she was 16 or 17 at the time. And she's just giggling. I'm like, oh, you little fucker. Because she knew I was uncomfortable. And so I got my ice cream. I go, okay, I got to go. Bye. And I sat down. But at this point, the parents kind of looked like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm like, hey, I shook my head like, I'm not doing nothing, man. And so I sit down with my goddaughter. The parents, they get their ice cream, and they ended up leaving. And my goddaughter burst out laughing. I'm like, what? Why was that so funny to you? And she goes, oh my God, that girl was trying to pick up on you. She was totally making the moves, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's what it felt like. She was. And so I was like, I don't understand. So at the time, I think I had just turned 37, or I was 36. And I'm like, I don't understand. Why are all these young girls walking up to me? And she goes, well, look, you're starting to get a belly. I'm like, yeah. And she goes, you've got gray flecks in your hair. And I have a little bit of a Fu Manchu, or not Fu Manchu, but the mustache with a little bit of chin beard. I forget the name of that. And I have in it, and when my hair is short on the sides and I have a little bit of a beard, it shows gray flecks. And she goes, Michael, women are really attracted to that. And I was like, holy shit. I mean, I heard it, I read about it, but I didn't believe it because I'm a male. So in that picture in that club, it was after that. And from that point on, I just let my gut hang out. And holy shit, women would walk up to me and talk to me. So let me tell you, if you're a younger male, let's say you're 28, tell them you're about 33 or 34. Women like older men. And purposely get a little bit of gray flecks in the sides of your hair, okay? A little bit of gray hair. Have your hairdresser, or whatever you call her, purposely put a little bit of gray in here and there. That will attract women to you. I know that sounds nuts, but it's true. Remember, this is all about human behavior and stimulus response. And remember, her mating system is not wired the way yours is. Hey, God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, click subscribe, click the like button, and buy my book, Crack the Female Code, if you want to learn more. All right, see you later.